Start off with a joke, mate. And yeah. See, when I first heard about Narcotics Anonymous and the 12-step program, I was in the meeting earlier on, and it was in 1991, and H&I come into a treatment centre that I was in, and the geezer used to tell me about the steps, and you know, I was totally in denial. Step 1 tells me that I was powerless, so when I'm using, I am powerless, right? And I remember when I come back, and I used to hear people say step 2, I used to think about Cypress Hill, you know that song Insane in the Membrane? Yeah, I used to think, yeah, because I used to be a bit like that, like, you know. And also it's this came to believe, right? And I was brought up in a normal East End home where you went to church, but everyone were thieves, you know what I mean? So trying to get that balance of a God, because I used to think like religion, I don't knock religion, but I used to think religion and God and all that, that's just not for me, it's really hypocritical. So when I come in, I quite struggled with it, and the truth is I'd go to step meetings, but the week it was step 2, 3, 6 and 7, I wouldn't go. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't go. And I tried to get clean and stay clean without a power way, anything, without a God in my life, and it didn't work for me. Do you know what I mean? It just didn't work for me. And I remember I went to treatment. Not everybody does. I got a sponsor. She's 33 years clean, stayed sober since her first meeting. Do you know what I mean? And you know, stuff like that. But I went to treatment, and I'd done a step 1. I got to step 2. And I said, like, listen, I really struggle with this gear, man. Do you know what I mean? I really struggle with this stuff. I don't think, you know, I used to think I was a bit nutty, but you know, the literature doesn't tell me that. It just says, you know, you struggle with this illness, man. And when I use, I do insane things. And don't get me wrong, in recovery, I've done some right mad stuff. You know what I mean? I ain't going to own it here. You know what I mean? But in recovery, I do some insane stuff. You know what I mean? I've got like, I'll give you an example. I used to get a travel card where I work. And I used to want to bunk the train all the time, even though I've got a pass. You know what I mean? So my illness, it's not out there, it's here. Right, it's here. And the counsellor I had at the time, he was like my sponsor, and he said, just look at the words, because I'm one of them addicts, I need to break it down. And he says, it came to believe. He said, just find something you like, and go with it. And I was in Western Supermare, I got clean in Western, and it was really weird, because I come from the East End, like around here, there's tower blocks, isn't there? Down there, they don't have all that. Do you know what I mean? It's all peaceful, and the sea's there, and you know. And I don't, for me personally, I don't get on my knees and pray. Do you know what I mean? But I'll get up in the morning and I'll go in the kitchen, and you know, I'll look out over Mile End Park, and I see how beautiful Mile End is. Like when I used to use Mile End was a shithole, you know? But since I got clean, it's lovely. Do you know what I mean? It's lovely. And you know, I ask God quite a lot. Can I be restored to sanity? Yeah, of course I can. If I didn't believe in step 2, I wouldn't come here. If I didn't believe in the steps, I wouldn't come here. Do you know what I mean? I've tried to come to meetings and not work the steps, and I just kept overdosing. Do you know what I mean? And I kept getting really. This is insane. There's a pal of mine. He's here tomorrow actually doing a chair. He's probably about somewhere. And when I first come in, he was about 6 months, and he was so happy. No one of them ones who come in and they're so happy to be clean, and he was smiling all the time, and I fucking hated him. Do you know, with a passion. Do you know what I mean? Because he was willing to do the work and do this stuff, and I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? And I look back on that now, and that's just insane behaviour, right? Do you know what I mean? Like when he's in the room sometimes, I'll share it when I'm doing the chair, and that just shows me what I'm like, you know. Yeah, and you know, I come out of there, and I've got a sponsor, and the geezer who took me through the work, he was all right. I really struggled reading and writing, so my truth is I didn't do a lot of the step working guide. I went through the basic text and the Aaron White book, you know what I mean? Because at the time, I couldn't read and write at all, you know what I mean? That's what I like about Narcotics Anonymous. Go through the work how you want, just do it, get it done, you know what I mean? And we just used to sit down and read the book together, and he used to get me to read this book and the Aaron White book over and over and over and over again. So I used to be out and about on the bus or on the train with my tunes on, just reading step 2 over and over and over again to get it drilled into my brain. Do you know what I'm saying? And I used to find it a bit weird, you know. coming to believe in God, but I do believe in God now, do you know what I mean? And all the stuff that goes with it. I remember my daughter, she's 10 now. I'm going to go and see her later, do you know what I mean? I've got her into watching Gotham, you know what I'm saying? Because I really like it. That's my behaviour. My daughter, I don't like it when she wants to watch Peppa Pig and fucking Rainbow. I get her watching Family Guy and fucking American Dad and stuff like that. What I like, because I'm selfish, because I can be a selfish addict. I'm selfish like an addict, but I'm just talking about me. And I remember I was in the bedroom when I was with her mum, and I used to get on my knees. You know what I mean? When I first got clean, out of fear, to be honest. And I used to get on my knees, and I was praying one day, and she went walking past the bedroom. And she went like that, and I thought, oh no, she's caught me praying. I'm not the cool dad anymore, because I want to be the cool dad. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember last year, I stuck it on her teacher, because I wasn't working step 2, because she told me that he was cooler than me. And it just deflated my ego. Do you know what I mean? She went, yeah, my teacher's cooler than you. It's the first time my daughter's ever said that. I went off my nut. I went down to school, I went up to this teacher, I went, oi. I went, she's just told me you're cooler than me. You know what I mean? That's my behaviour sometimes. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know why I just fucking told you that. And so I'm on my knees and I'm praying, and she walks past. And I was like, oh no, do you know what I mean? And she went, what are you doing? I went, oh, I'm praying, Sky. And she looked at me, and she's 6 at the time, and she went, yeah, God's cool, isn't he? And she just walked out of the room. And I thought, Rastafari, man, she's 6. And I'm whatever age I am. And she just believes in God like that. You know what I mean? She just gets it. And she doesn't go to a religious school. You know what I mean? My ex-partner's not religious. She hasn't been brought up that way. Do you know what I mean? But the truth is, she hears me talking about God a lot now. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, I used to get really, really embarrassed about that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I used to hear people saying in meetings, yeah, there's, you know, the spiritual side of the programme. And I used to think, what you on about? It's a spiritual programme, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? You know, how clean do you want to be, sort of thing, you know what I mean? And, see, nowadays, right, I was 4 years clean the other day, right? And, yeah, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And I look back at my behaviour in Narcotics Anonymous, which is, you know, like everyone. I don't know, but it's been pretty cool. You know what I mean? I've never chinned anyone in a meeting. I've seen a couple of fights in key close. It was quite entertaining. Do you know what I mean? I didn't, but you know, I've done plenty of the wrong things. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm perfect. My behaviour can be so off key, it's untrue. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely not the finished article, do you know what I mean? Hopefully I never will be. You know what I mean? My sponsors used to say to me, yeah, you're really well the day they bury you. Do you know what I mean? But what I struggle with is out there. Like I'm just changing jobs, hopefully, you know what I mean? I've sort of like done volunteer work in this field, and I don't want to share what a fucking bunch of wankers I think David Cameron is, because he kicked me off my benefit, but I will. He kicked me off my benefit, right? And I'm screwing. And my head, this is the insanity of my head, says to me, go down, what's it called? Fucking number 10. Chain yourself to number 10 until he comes out, and then stick it on him. Do you know what I mean? That's my thinking, right? So I've done a bit of praying on it, and obviously God told me not to do that. And he said, no, don't do that, bruv, that is a bad move. You know what I mean? And I had this opportunity to start working in Lord's cricket ground, right? I don't like cricket. You know what I mean? The geezer says to me, what do you know about cricket? I went, when they hit a ball, it's boring, isn't it? Oh, I'm into football, you know what I mean, right? So I've been on this job interview there for like 5 or 6 weeks, right? And I've got like I've got an eating disorder as well, right? And I'm working the kitchens, and the fucking cake's in there. Oh man, you won't believe it. You know what it's like when you first get clean, just eat, don't you? You know what I mean? I put on 3 stone in rehab, didn't I? You know what I mean? I lost it all though, you know what I mean? And I'm in this gaff, and my head is just barking mad, and I have to stop in Lord's cricket ground a lot, shoot in the toilet, have a quick little pray out, and come back out again. You know, and I'm just checking if there's people here. There's people in recovery who I work with, and they're raving mad, some of them, you know what I mean? Like I can be. And all they do all day long is talk about recovery. And the truth is, drives me crazy, drives me crazy, sweet mate, it drives me crazy. So I'm straight back, I'm in the toilet again. And I'm praying again, you know what I mean? And I come out and I think, should I do some work? And I think, no, go back in the toilet and pray again. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got to keep checking in. You know, because if I don't believe, this is just for me, right? I don't believe I work the steps, I live them. I have to. I've tried working them, and that works. And you get a little bit cleaner and things change, and life changes and blah blah blah. And I have to live it, And hopefully I'm going to be working in this cricket ground. I go back next Thursday, and hopefully I'm going to be working in a cricket ground. Now I'm someone who comes from Tower Hamlets, whose illness likes him sticking needles in his feet and smoking crack. Do you know what I'm saying? And I look what God's given me now and what Narcotics Anonymous has given me. I think, ras, man. Do you know what I mean? In the small time, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's just crazy. I can't put into words what it's like in here, because I've done it, to not work a program. It's just insane. You know what I mean? It's just, it's insane in the membrane, as someone says, like I started off with. But I have to keep that thing going, because some days I think, I'll own it. I'll pray for selfish stuff now and again. I know the literature tells me not to do it, but I think, fuck that, I know more than this book. See, that's when I'm running on my own gear and all that. I think, I know more than that. If I read the basic text, trust me, you'll all be using, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, what I'm trying to say is, I just have to do it, you know what I mean? It lets God ring it up, you know what I mean? Check it on me, because I'm so special. But it's like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say or what I've said. I'll have to listen to this next week. And, no, my ego, I go and fucking listen to it straight away. And, when I run about out there on my own will, it's a nightmare, in the book, right, it says we do recover, doesn't it? We have a reading in this meeting that says we do recover, right? And I think, it's not just us, it's our families. I'll go round my mum's house on a Tuesday night, right, to watch stuff on Sky TV because I ain't got it. And my dad lets me in his house. Now, that's not down to me. Do you know what I mean? That's not down to me, that's down to God, man. Because if it was down to me, he wouldn't let me in. He never would let me in. Because he knew I'd be round there wanting money off my mum. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's the sort of addict I am. But I think I've done 15 minutes. I've done about 12, yeah. And, my problem is definitely, I've got a me problem. My sponsor used to share that to me. He used to say to me, listen, you don't use no more. You work in step one, you ain't got a drug problem no more. You've got a you problem, and it's an inside job. And I used to think, this geezer's off his nut. He's 13 years clean, he's raving mad, the fella. Do you know what I mean? But as I've gone in recovery, I know what he means. Do you know what I'm saying? And some days, God's definitely restored me to sanity, and some days it ain't. You know what I mean? And that's the days I have to give it some, and I have to come here, and I have to see you lot, because I'm one of them addicts. I share this quite a lot. I don't. It's funny we're recording, right? I don't listen to share CDs. I've tried it, but they just don't cut it for me. I know loads of people who listen to them all the time and they love it. I need to come here and I need to have it with you. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of them addicts. I need to see you, and when I go to a meeting, I always look so I can see the chair. Do you know what I mean? I never sit at the back and can't see the chair and just hear their voice. It drives me crazy. I need the contact of other addicts. You know what I mean? It's one of the things God's given me. Do you know what I'm saying? I can sit in a room, I can look at you straight in the eye, innit? It's Narcotics Anonymous, man. Leave it there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Even more pleasure. She gets more exciting every time I announce it, doesn't it? I love hearing me. I love hearing Cathy, she's great. So hand it over to you.
Lovely. I'm Cathy, I'm an addict. Guys. Yeah. Right, so I've got all these post-it notes. Right? So during the week, while I was at work, I'd keep getting the book out and just, I'd read a bit and go, oh wow, yeah. So I haven't actually read it all through. I've just got all these little post-it notes, ideas and stuff. So I'm going to go, first of all, it's real privilege to sit here. It is, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, I really connected with my pride. I'm so proud to sit here with you guys, and that feeds my soul. So thank you guys, really. Thanks for staying clean. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for all your service and the meetings that I attend. Yeah, you're a big part of my life and a big part of keeping me clean. Thanks, guys. So when I first was thinking about tradition too, and what do I say? And every time I've been, since I've been writing this, each time I went to write about it, I couldn't even remember what tradition 2 was. That nervousness. So I thought, and I thought about step 2 and what, that asking for help stuff. So I asked people. That was the first thing I did. I'm proud of that I asked other people, because I was really scared and nervous. And I've learned by staying clean in NA that when I get like that, when I freeze up and I don't know what to do, oh wow, I've got this whole community I can ask. Simple, really simple, really helpful. And the first thing I heard was that, of course, with tradition 2, of course, that each group has its own trusted servants. So each group will have its own little differences, and so there's no set idea. Just because I have an idea in the meeting I go to or the committee that I'm on, because we have some ideas about how a meeting should be run, then each meeting is going to be different. And that's for me something that has really kept me coming back and wanting more from NA, is that spirituality at the heart of recovery and at the heart of our 12 traditions, that we are a fellowship, we're a group of people, we're a group of people that meet regularly to stay clean, and that we are individuals. That with the 12 steps and 12 traditions, that we've found a way to work to live and work, as a group, and respecting ourselves as individuals. That blew my mind when I first heard that. When I was first coming to meetings and hearing that card, we read about the traditions, I thought, whoa, what? All these little, I like to think of myself as a bit of a rebel, but I had my little revolutionary years, I would, yes, I think it's perfectly all right to go and chain yourself at 10 Downing Street, because they don't have the steps and traditions. They don't have this beautiful answer. Right. First one. That's such a relief. Away it goes. And the other one was, I asked lovely Stephen, and I asked him about it, and he said, oh, that one's got God all over it, in his Irish accent, which, And so, in NA, I've been blessed to go through this path of being an atheist, and then coming to my own beliefs. Finding out, staying clean, finding that I get the time to work out what my own beliefs are. That they fit. So that I become comfortable with myself, so that then I can sit comfortably with other people, the steps and traditions, the work that we do. And I learned in very early, I was told, in very early days, someone asked me, do you know what to govern means, what the word govern means? And our lovely Gary from the speaker meeting years ago sat me down and said it. And to govern means to write rules. So none of us, we don't go around writing rules. It's not, that stuff about the individuality, each meeting is different. You can't, actually, even if you have that expectation and ask the question, well, shouldn't it be like this? sorry mate, we don't govern. If you're looking for a governor, you ain't going to find it here. You know? And I'll talk a bit more about that with some of the spiritual principles. And then, right. I don't know what this one is. It says, so how do we find a way through? I was thinking about, through the difficult times in a meeting and with how we organise our meetings. How do we find our way through that difficulty? By calling a group conscience and practising these principles. Right. And I really liked this one. I didn't know what it was, and I really like it. It's the way into what I've seen practiced in this fellowship. Because I've been really lucky in early recovery. I saw a couple of group consciences. This is different from business meetings, the business of practicality of running a group. And I was really lucky that very early on in recovery I learnt the difference. And if you haven't experienced, if you haven't learnt that difference or think that they're the same, I would strongly suggest that you go to lots of different meetings, because when, for me certainly, when I sat down with a group of like-minded and differently minded people, that are practicing these spiritual principles, there it is. It was a very spacious experience, right? I'll just do it, right? I went to a couple of group consciences where members were really practicing 12 steps, 12 traditions recovery. And those group consciences were really gentle and spacious. And they was, what is spacious? What happens when a group conscience is called is that room is allowed and given for each person. This is about worth. We do our step works, our step work, and we get self-worth and self-esteem from that. So then, to see and feel that practiced in the group conscience, and taking that stuff about step 3, the steps that come in with this, to see that when people are practicing and keeping their will out, they become manageable, their head and their heart and what comes out of their mouth come out all together. Just being a part of that was lovely. Thank you. And also about for me with the difficulty, because quite often I can go in there having learnt this from other people, and of course I'm thinking, well, I know what's to be done, and my personality is, my character is quite solution focused, so I can forget about the process, talk all about the process, go in to do something, forget all about that, and go into right, we need to do, and that I learn from doing that, because in NA we can learn from our mistakes. And you get, the great sense of worth and esteem that we get from that, and intimacy. That we watch each other make mistakes, and we have the faith and the trust in this program and in recovery that it will be all right. The world's not going to come to an end. Right, so this bit is about the spiritual principles. That stuff about, and that I just spoke about with about responsibility and trust, about taking responsibility for how we trust each other, there's a kindness within that, and it's really, that's important to me. And the steps that go with this, I put was about steps 3, they're particularly for me, steps 3 and 11, and also for me step 2, because my first step 2, when I was still kind of like detoxing, I was very, very fortunate. And so my first step 2 was all about intimacy. That throughout my using I had craved intimacy. And as a child I'd really wanted intimacy and support from my mum, and it just hadn't happened. And I kept repeating that mistake. That was my insanity. Every time, when I asked for help with my problems, and I'd really want the help, and I'd be going to some doctor's appointment saying, I want the help, I'm going to do it, sit down at the desk with them, they'd say, oh, you're going to reduce, how's your life? I was like, oh, not this week. Walk out and go and use. I didn't understand, didn't know. So that means that I have to take responsibility for my actions. And surrender. So, surrendering my will. Oh, it's so beautiful when you do it with a group of people. I would really encourage anyone, to have that experience. It's a real privilege to be able to do that. In that moment when I'm sitting in meetings and just now, when watching people running our meetings or sitting in a group conscience, when I watch other people doing service in this fellowship, for me the truth is it opens my heart up. Because I see you doing service, I know you're doing the kindest, best thing that you can. It makes me feel safe. Difficulties calling a group conscience. Yes. When people don't have experience of a group conscience and their fear, so we're all trying to do this lovely, beautiful stuff, and we also get feared up. What do we do about that? We sit with it. We sit with it, we surrender, we hand our will and our life over. And it's very simple stuff. Faith, nearly there. Right, faith. What does it say here? Right. So there's one sentence I'll just read from the book. Faith is our reliance on a loving higher power put into action. Right, faith. To me, that's individuals putting their 12-step recovery into practice. Right, Buddhists and the Buddha, right, they had this thing. It's called a walking meditation, where you're walking and doing a meditation, because it's all very well sitting, being spiritual and stuff, but actually you've got to get to the next village. Right? You've got to organise the next meeting. You've got to find out. And and that's how I see. That's how I see this. That's how I see people. We're all our actions in meetings. It's like service is like our step 11 in action. It's not just something we do at private home. We also do it in how we do service and how we are with each other. Humility. All I'm going to say about humility, is control is not an Olympian event. And there is a connection, and there's a connection between humility and anonymity. There isn't time to go into one, but I was going to say, yes, there was some stuff on Facebook before the convention, and so what I've done in the past, speaking that if I've got a question, I go to the committee. I've been around long enough, and we can do that. We can go to meetings, even on Facebook, we can personal message someone. We don't have to kick off. Let's humility and anonymity and action for me. We can all make mistakes. I will forgive that person. And for me, there's a lot of step through in that. Yeah, anonymity. This is about respect, respectfulness, and the FB thing. So that's me. That's my tradition too. Thank you, guys.